Nigeria, a land where everything is imported. Nigeria currently has a population of 237 million people, projected to reach 300 million by 2035. The men and women of Nigeria are hard-working individuals. They deserve recognition for their effort. In just 10 years, Nigeria's population is expected to increase by an amount comparable to the entire population of countries like Colombia, Italy, South Korea, Spain, or Canada. Remarkably, in the next decade, Nigeria will produce more people than the total number of African Americans. However, what is striking about Nigeria is its heavy reliance on import. Everyday items such as body lotion, shower gel, soaps, cables, chargers, mixers, fryers, bulbs, knobs, tiles, and even the traditional African fabric known as Ankara are imported from countries like China and various European nations. It is important to note that I'm not even discussing advanced technology here. I'm referring to some basic essentials that a 10-year-old Chinese or Korean can produce in their backyard. Ironically, when ships deliver their cargo to Nigerian ports, they often leave with empty containers because the country produces almost nothing it can export. When vessels offload goods in countries with intelligent labor forces, they don't leave empty-handed. They take locally produced goods with them. For instance, Indonesia, with a population of 287 million, has about 100 seaports. Vietnam, with a population of 102 million, has 34 seaports. The Philippines, home to 116 million people, has 17 major seaports. South Africa, with 65 million people, has 8 major seaports, while the smaller nations of Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait have 4, 3, and 3 major seaports respectively. In contrast, Nigeria, with a population of 237 million people, has only 1 major seaport located in Lagos. So, why is Nigeria so reliant on import? First and foremost, it lacks the infrastructure and expertise to become a manufacturing powerhouse. A key requirement for industrialization is a reliable electricity supply, but Nigeria lacks sufficient generating capacity. For over 40 years, Nigeria's electricity output has not increased commensurate with its population growth. In fact, it has decreased disproportionately. To illustrate, Nigeria's population was 87 million 40 years ago. Today, that number has increased by over 200%, yet electricity generation has plateaued or declined. If you don't generate enough electricity, you cannot industrialize. Nigeria lacks factories. As you travel throughout Nigeria, 5 major types of businesses stand out. Churches, restaurants, which include bars and nightclubs, banks, small fashion shops, and beauty salons. There are no factories, little innovation, and minimal productivity. Instead, the market is flooded with import. Nigeria is one of China's largest dumping grounds for a wide array of low-quality Chinese goods. Many of these imports lack English instructions and may only be usable for a brief time. Because the country has no standards, virtually anything can be imported and sold regardless of its usefulness to the buyer, whether it lasts for an hour or a week. Refunds and returns are not offered, and there are no regulations, or if they exist, they are not enforced. The system is entirely broken. It is important to acknowledge the hardships Nigerians endure. We need to commend them for their resilience in navigating life in this country. In the past 3 months alone, I have spent over $1,500 on electricity bill for my home in Lagos. I mention this because it highlights the situation. The minimum wage in Nigeria is 70,000 naira per month, about $50, while the average salary is 250,000 naira per month, which is about $180. For context, the average monthly salary in the USA is $5,800, which is 32 times higher than in Nigeria. Yet, electricity costs in Nigeria are 225 naira per kilowatt hour, which is approximately 16 cents, the same rate that Americans pay. As a result, Nigerians pay the same price for electricity as those in the developed world, despite earning significantly less on average. On average, Nigerians pay more than the rich in developed countries. Sub-Saharan Africa imports approximately 6.5 million premium motor spirit (PMS) generators, with over 3 million going to Nigeria alone, almost half of the total. Nigeria is often referred to as the land of generators, yet for more than 40 years there has been no investment in domestic research to produce them. From clothing to toilet paper, from screwdrivers to toothpicks, Nigerians import all their everyday needs, with China accounting for a significant share of these goods. All of these imports flow through a single seaport in one city, despite Nigeria's coastline stretching for over 800 kilometers. This concentration of logistics and financial activities in Lagos has led to considerable traffic and pressure on the city, driving many Nigerians to migrate there. As a result, Lagos has become home to over 20 million people, while the total road length in its greater area is less than 10,000 kilometers. For comparison, Amsterdam, with a population of less than 1 million, has a road length of 10,000 kilometers. And Dubai, with a population of 4 million, boasts over 18,000 kilometers of road. In Nigeria, private generators produce nearly 20 gigawatt hours of power annually, accounting for roughly 96% of industrial energy consumption. I want you to picture the level of carbon monoxide gas emissions in Nigeria. Carbon monoxide, CO, is an odorless, colorless gas that can cause sudden illness and even death if inhaled. This danger occurs when carbon monoxide accumulates in the bloodstream. When there is too much carbon monoxide in the air, it can replace oxygen in red blood cells, leading to severe tissue damage or even death. Nigerians have one of the shortest life expectancies in the world, averaging just 54 years. Could this be a contributing factor to their early mortality? Despite this situation persisting for over 40 years, little has been done to address the problem of inadequate power generation and the hazards involved with premium motor spirit generators. This lack of reliable electricity has stifled local production, forcing Nigerians into a cycle of dependency on imports. Over 75% of Nigerian population is under 40, meaning most have grown up in a culture of dependence on import rather than on productivity or local manufacturing. Factories and businesses that once supported the economy in the 70s and early 80s have since disappeared, leaving the economy unsustainable. Nigeria is made up of 36 states, each governed by an elected governor, and has a president who is elected by popular vote. Every month after the federal government receives revenue from crude oil production, it distributes payment to the 36 governors to help manage state infrastructure and affairs. These governors typically use this funding to pay salaries and cover other state expenses. However, many states struggle to generate their own internal revenue, leading to a cycle of dependency on federal remittances. This reliance has stifled the independent thinking of many Nigerians, making it difficult for them to innovate or explore new ideas. Unfortunately, this situation has also contributed to widespread corruption. Some governors may embezzle a portion of monthly funds, neglecting to pay pensions and salaries and to maintain infrastructure without facing repercussions. Corruption accusations against governors are common, yet very few have ever been convicted, despite the substantial evidence of potential embezzlement. Importing is not inherently negative when it is properly regulated and controlled. However, when an entire nation of 237 million people relies on import for everything they need without regulation or oversight, it undermines local production, creativity, and competition. Instead of striving to invent, produce, or manufacture the best product, Nigerians end up competing to see who can import the best ones. This is not an effective way to run a country. Currently, fewer than 5% of Nigerians have 1 million naira or $725 in their bank account, and fewer than 3% have savings for the future. Only 10 million Nigerians are covered by the contributory pension scheme, CPS, and over 70% of cars in Nigeria are uninsured. From homes to workplaces to schools and government buildings, many Nigerians do not invest in insurance or protection for their future. The absence of a maintenance culture and a strategic foresight has significantly hindered Nigerians and, more broadly, Black Africans from developing and sustaining themselves. If you think we're wrong, if you think we missed anything, please leave them in the comment section below. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.